Oakley Dokley, good evening heroes and heroines, and welcome to Practising Programming in C, where my camera seems to move after every single stream. Just bear with us while we do this important, very important task of lining the thing up. It's probably close enough. So, let's go back to our screen. What we're doing is we're debugging the instance-wide search page. So let's look at what we've produced here. Yeah, we're basically looking at this directory here. So if I just go there, for some reason I want X render. Okay. So let's start from scratch. Let's move our Cinera DB out of the way. Sorry, I mean technically I can just remove it, but I'll do this. And also what I think I'll do is I'm just going to build in optimized mode so it generates the thing a bit quicker. Why is that jumping around? That seemed like it was a long time happening. So here's our file anyway. Whatever that was doing. Here's our file. And this index.html file is put here because we have set these values. Now if I comment out these values, and run it again, I think I'm handling this, but I'm only kind of partially handling it, which might be part of the problem, although I don't think it is actually. Well, I think it's a separate problem, but it's not related to the immediate problem. So there we go. Commenting those out, so we're not generating those, this thing, and it's been deleted. So now let's just put those back in. And again, let's run the thing. I wonder if we're going over somebody multiple times there. Anyway, you can see that the index.html file hasn't popped up in here. Now, just to demonstrate the fact that the problem is purely in the setting of this value after having not had it set, to demonstrate that that is the problem, and not necessarily independently of having had the thing set, taking it out and putting it back in again. Just to demonstrate that that is the case, let's do this. Let's move our Cinera thing out of the way. So we're building afresh. Let's try and watch this again actually. Hero code. Hero code. Yeah, I do feel like that went over hero code multiple times. So I might need to look into that actually. But anyway, as expected, we don't see this here. But now having set this, we should expect to see that index.html here, if it's working. Which I'm pretty sure it's not. Yes, it's not. So let's see what's going on. Let's move out of the way. Let's generate our thing. Right, we're going over code again. I think. Unless maybe that is just the one set. So yeah, there we go, we've got that. Now I'm going to build. Oh, yeah. In a debug build. So having set this, where would this come into play? I think it would come into play in syncdb. Maybe actually initdb, frankly. Did I think it come in with... Oh, hold on. So we've got the config here, so the config will be available already to initdb. So it's possible that we could make initdb handle some of this stuff. So that sets the header. So this is if we have got an existing file, you come into this path. And the only thing that it would do is upgrade the DB. And set the header, set the current version to the actual current version. And then this is just verifying the blocks, making sure that they're well formed. And then here we have a write entire file, essentially. So that is the case that we're talking about. And there's nothing in there to do with moving stuff that should be moved, basically. You know, new change settings, basically. So my argument is basically this, that we should be getting in to one of these things. Oh, we're just not calling the function, are we? Is that the only problem? Yeah, that might just be the only problem. It's generate global search page. So where does this get called? This get called by generate search pages. Hang on, let me just search for this in Vim. So I'm a bit more certain about where I'm actually looking at. So I think this is monitor directories. Yeah, monitor file systems. So if we've got a deleted or an inserted file, we would generate the search pages. This is probably in sync db with import, yeah. Aha. This is the problem. This is where we should do it. Yeah. So this is it. Rather than doing all that logic in syncdb, rather than doing this logic here, which simply synchronizes the project, I reckon we want to make syncdb with input do this actual thing. Let's just check where this actually gets called. Probably only gets called by one person. I suppose, you know, maybe 60 minutes. Read down the quotes. So this is in sync projects. Oh, interesting. So syncdb with input happens for every project. I suppose you could argue then, couldn't you? By the way, I'm listening to Kate Bush's The Central World, which was released on this day in '89, I think. Oh, is that right? Was it '89? Yeah. So it's actually the 30th anniversary, isn't it? Nice. So we've got sync project there. Currently we've got syncdb doing that. This is going to be moving things into the right places in the database. Right, yes, it's going to be moving things into the right places in the database. And our generate search pages, generate global search page itself operates on the actual DB, doesn't it? So there's our search location. Searched above the top level. So there's the DB being used. There's a DB. We should have a loop, shouldn't we? So the project file. Yep. Perfect. So what this tells me is that we need to actually get the database in the correct sort of order before we do all this stuff. Okay. All of which means that, you know, where we do the all that checking, where we do the syncdb, this happens before the sync project calls, right? That happens there. The sync projects happen down here. This means that we should really do the work, the similar work of syncdb with inputs, that is checking whether the titles are the same, the themes are the same, and I think whether to move people around. I think I think it's the delete, isn't it? Yeah, delete DB entries. This person is responsible for moving people around. Right. Now, we've got this note here to handle the modification of the global search data, global search URL. I don't think that's appropriate for this because this function is used for everyone, for all the individual projects. We only care about the global search directory we only care about doing it once, basically. So I don't actually want that to be in it. Additionally, the base directory changed. I guess we can leave that check. But yeah, essentially we want to do a similar thing with this. You see where this is checking for changed base directories and stuff, and moving people around, make directory and renaming, all this stuff. We want to be doing this sort of stuff for the global thing after these sync projects have been called. So we're basically saying sync DB with input was the thing, wasn't it? Yeah, I think they should do sync global pages with input. So where we had the sync DB, that is happening up there. Right. I think after this, let's just stick one of these. I think we had the project block pointer being set previously. Yeah, because this thing is it. I've got a feeling we didn't bother with the project block being set. We can test that, can't we? If global blocks search page, yeah. So this is all to do with the moving of the thing around. So all this means is that we can just take these out and then go to the sync global thing, because stick that in here. So that builds fine, happily. And then having done this, now yeah, we need to delete the landmarks as well. We've got the case that we're talking about here is when the stored global search directory had no length, and the new one does have a length, basically. No, nice. It's hack me please, babe, hack me please. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm very good at hacking, honestly. Certainly not good at cracking. I can try and program you, I suppose. I can try. So yeah, we've established here, haven't we? We're saving off the search stuff, the stored stuff. If I don't hack you, you're if I don't hack you, my mum is going to kick my ass. Yeah, I don't believe you. I don't believe that you that you've set up that agreement for that to happen. So yeah, if they differ, then we're writing the new thing into the database for both of those things. And then here we're talking about the actual pages. So if that's empty, we're going to delete it. If the global searched, if the stored one, if the stored one had some length. So in other words, if we have one that exists, yeah, we just need to do the other case, don't we? So we've already handled here, where the new one has no length. If there was one with a length, and it differs, then we do this. Else, if the stored one had no length, I think we can infer, can't we, that we should be generating the file? Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? I think that's it, isn't it? So they want the neighborhood and the collision buffers. Now I suppose, have they been populated yet? So it probably expected, yeah, it wants a pointer to it. So they're saying yeah, of course the collision buffer is available because that previous person used it. So yeah, I think that's it, I think. So we've got nothing here. Got nothing in here. Oh, we've got this set. So if I'm not mistaken, I think if we just run this, I think we should be generating the thing now. So now we're at 909. I am fixing some bugs in this thing that I'm doing. This this program basically it's a website generator. All right, I think that's going to have to be a ban. I think. Farewell. Now we're at 66999. So it hasn't worked. Did we have the thing set? So yeah, this is going to be doing the sync projects. That's what's going to be happening there. I think we're calling the function, I think. Yeah, sync level project with import. So I guess let's jump in and see why that hasn't fixed it. Yeah, let's do that. Let's jump in and see what's going on. And now we wait. I'll actually just clear this buffer. Can I do this? There we go. So oh, tell you what, actually. Yeah. I'm going to have to move that out of the way. So, yeah, you can just run, can't you? I don't think I need to relaunch. So there's 500, right? And then we've got, yeah, we definitely did get 500 coming through again. So I want to look into that and see exactly what's going on there. Oh, this isn't the case, is it? Yeah, hang on. Oh god, I need to actually do that as well. let's just remove that call. To this function. Right, brilliant. So what have we broken? Sync project will have happened, won't it? Yeah, intro to C is set. And here we have sync DB with imports. Let's just try stepping straight over this. Yes, that is fine. Alright, so onto a new project. One hero code. Now I think I want to step into here. So this should succeed, shouldn't it? Yeah. Oh. No, this shouldn't be an issue. Because it is within the buffer, within the thing. Now, I suspect that this is going to fail. No. So we skipped. Yeah, I did see that one skipped, and so. Right, there we go. So let's try this again. Let's step past that. Right, hero code. So now we continue on. Into here. get past all of this place. I'll get to here. Now, will it actually get me into an entry? Oh, I'll tell you what, it's probably just the thing, isn't it? The database pointer. I don't think this touches the database, so this should succeed, shouldn't it? Well, there's some problem with it. Oh yeah, we skip. Sorry, we skip one, yeah, of course. So we need to jump back in again. And I think we have got the breakpoint on insert entry. Well, haven't we? Yeah. So we got here, and again I was saying, I don't think this touches the database, so I think we should be able to get past this. Yeah. It's not any insertion. So it is code. We should be able to increment that entry count, no problem, I think. I'm going to step into this and check out. Oh, mind you, that's just going to be that. So that's what it is currently. And that's what it becomes, which is the same thing. I think those possibly might be nulls, yeah. Because it's the first entry. So it's trying to do a read of size 4. What's it trying to read? Is it the entry insertion start it's struggling to read? Well, we know it's there, so I think actually I can just do this because it's the first entry that actually gets into this situation at all. Here we go. Oh no, because it's into C. This is fine, isn't it? I think it should just C succeed, no problem. It's the only way we get onto hero code, isn't it? Okay, so we're on here as a code this time. No, I think I should just be able to... So there we've got the skip. This is the thing that fails. Entry insertion start. Pretty sure what we're talking about here is this file, which is in existence at the moment. Yeah. Oh, sorry. The code index. Right, yeah. So this is here. It's still open. Home at Cinera tests. Test hero code. Code index. Yeah. So this thing we just opened. Oh. Ah. So the DB file buffer size is 0. So it's trying to write. I think I would like to know what this file contained before I opened it to write. I mean, I guess it's possible that I've just got a bit tangled up with some stale files sitting around. This file might have been generated Like if I crash now, I think this file will still exist, but it'll be empty. And an empty code.index file is not really going to help us out, because a code.index file has to contain at least the initial 3 thingies like this. So maybe on one of the runs we somehow, yeah, like I say, somehow generated this file, but only empty. Yeah, and that file still exists. So what I'm going to do is completely delete the whole thing. Move that out of the way. And now quit. And run again, just see if we still die. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, I don't know exactly know how I want to deal with that. Yeah, I don't know. But let's see if we can actually test what we've just done. Let this happen. And let's just try and get into the business of this, basically. So we're not generating this to begin with. We're starting afresh. That looks pretty quick, actually. Is it a debug build? Don't think it's a optimized build. No. So there's something interesting going on there, I think. Unless again, maybe that was just simply a product of the files getting all scrambled up. But yeah, anyway, now that we've done that, let's enable these guys and see if we get our file. Again, this is looking quicker. Although, did we go over code again twice? Do want to check that. So yeah, we haven't produced our thing. So the burning question is why? Actually, where it's sync global pages with import, isn't it? Yeah, we're definitely going over that code twice. Yeah, you know what? This ain't gonna help me. Unfortunately, I do need to go through this entire rigmarole in that manner. So now if we let this happen, Yeah, so that ain't set, which is good. That's empty. So if that differs, I suppose it's right inside database. That buffer size, is that actually the right size? For some reason the pointer's sitting here, which sounds a bit dodgy to me. I can understand this. This is the first bit of the file, but why would this be sitting on here necessarily? I suppose actually that could be okay, because just the pointer. It's not one of the signposts, it's what I'm driving at. Well, actually, db okay, just dereference this a little bit. No, it's unfortunate. Well, didn't I find that you could actually treat them as something? I don't know, this might be beside the point. Possibly. Actually, let me just see in initdb when this doesn't f right, it takes the buffer location, the buffer size, outputs it wants the buffer handle. Yeah, okay, so location of this size, yeah, maybe that is fine. File handle. We don't close it. That's probably a problem, isn't it? Yeah, that's surely a problem. That is definitely going to be a problem. Right, this will close it, and then these signposts will get fixed up. We'd found a buffer. Cycling the database is only necessary when you actually change the size of it, to be honest with you. So I guess I might actually just say just thinking of how I can phrase this. I basically want to communicate the idea that we're simply taking the existing metadata buffer that was read in from the file. It's the same size still, and we're just simply just pushing it back out. We're writing the I guess just that would do. Guess. Fix those variables or values. An example we've got that we're using it for is the actual what do you call it? The global search term. Yeah, I do think that should be fine. So move that, delete this, prevent this from happening. And generate the thing. So we've got our thing again. Now we go to Cinera.conf. Let these guys happen. Now what do we get? I think we did get the thing getting processed twice again. But what do we get? We still don't get what we want. Now, unfortunately, actually, yep, so they exist. So we can't actually proceed just yet. Got to reset our test bed, as it were. Oh. Yeah. So we've deleted those. We need to generate again. So what's going on here is that DB projects block hasn't been set correctly. Clearly. So I guess we just set it. Hold on, what? Projects block. DB projects block. Why was I thinking that the DB projects block was the thing to look at? Like when we do the sync global thing. It's a DB meta signposts projects block dot pointer. Is that the problem? We should be using that. Probably is actually. Yeah, it probably is. And then wherever I see DB projects block, I should actually just be using the simple projects block. Now what? So yeah, pretty bananas if that was the only problem. Sure, we're doing that code twice. I think this was fun anyway, wasn't it? That's probably causing all sorts of problems when we, well, do we call this again? We don't yet, but yeah, that was our problem there. Nice to see that the metadata signpost is actually still valid at this point. Shall we have a quick look at what was going on with that handmade here again, generated twice? Because we were definitely seeing that, weren't we? Sync project. Right. It's basically this. So there we are, processing intro to C. I think we're back up at hero now, I think. Yeah. So now we're talking about code. Credit time rate per hero code found proceeding. Okay. Oh, hang on. Was that? Yeah, I mean, already that's too many, isn't it? Code 561. Code. Ah, hold on. Ah, maybe it's not. Maybe it's fine, actually. 556. Yeah, 556 isn't among this. Don't think. Interesting. So it's simply the ordering of the actual files, which we know about. We know that we know that we don't get them delivered to us in the order that we would expect them to be delivered. And the reason we think that is because of the inode numbers, basically, I think is what you call it. Yeah, these things are. We think that they're basically sorted by this number, or a combination of these. Can I search this? I can. So let's just look for 560. Yeah, there's only there's only one instance of 560. So now again, we're back up at hero. Yeah. So we step in here. Now, are we on code again? We're not on array. So I guess that answers our question. That there was no problem. It's array getting processed. And again, like I say, we're back up at hero. Right, yeah. Chat, yeah, as expected. In fact, this could be an interesting thing to look at, since we're just talking about it. Let's go to the thing. Oh, sorry. So we were delivered the things in this order. 3 occurs down there, 4 occurs up here. So let's have a look at the inode numbers of chat 4 and chat 3. Yeah, it seems like the only difference is the inode number. And you can clearly see that 3 is a higher number than 4. So that's all that's happening. Same device. Same IO block. It's just the inode number. So I think that's pretty much confirmed our suspicion. You could also say 3 versus 13. So you got 519.045 and 518, yeah, so chat 13 comes just before 3. Possibly just before. I mean, obviously there's a bunch of numbers between those, but they're pretty close. I mean, I say they're pretty close to like 1,000 out, but on a 64-bit system, I imagine you can have I don't know. I don't know exactly what the spec is for that. Back over here, and now it's miss because this is the last one. Right, so this is now Handmade Hero, the main guy. So it's gone over its children and it's now processing the parent. And there was fuck all to actually generate. So on we go. To probably, I was going to say risky, but it's P. Fine. Yeah, I guess that's fine now. I think we confirmed that there is no duplication of work, as we kind of thought there might have been. So it was that, and it's now the same thing, isn't it? So yeah, we enter none of those cases. Right, perfect. So I think we've solved that problem. Let's try and find out what to do. Urgently decide something. Test with longer update intervals. Properly stress. I think that was it, wasn't it? Properly stress test the relocation code. Well, we still do actually need to properly stress test it, I think. So let's leave that to doing. Enjoy the printer. Don't do this. Actually, let me just say. I think I have determined that is actually working now. I think. But I will just leave it there just for the moment. Don't do this, instead do the actual assets loop, fixing all the landmarks. I'll leave that because that's kind of by the by at the moment. This is still some test stuff. Oh, remove this section from it's been deleted, or at least once. This is really cheesy. This is just basically this change that I'm doing here. It's like it's been months in the works, and previously we used to have a metadata file for each project, but we're now changed so there's just one database file for all of the projects. So all this code is doing here is just going over and deleting the metadata file if it exists. Don't think this is related to what we're doing. No. Fully determine. I think I've got a bunch of these. Fully determine whether these should happen. Send through all the ancestry generated. So this is actually happening. Right, you can sort of see that happening here. I'm going to leave that to do there though, because there is some test sort of printing out stuff, so I'll just leave it for the moment. Fully determine that. Fully determine that. Now here we go, we're getting close to it. Some sort of thing for the on top that we're going to use. We need to do that. And this. And this is what we're doing, figuring out how to produce that. It's the same deal. So these two, I think that was search to buffer, and that was search to buffer globally, or search to buffer top level. Yeah. So these guys actually do very similar things. I'd like to collapse these down. It's just to compress the code, basically. So we put the code that's similar in both of those things. Just take that code that's similar and put it into a function, so they can then just call that function, basically. Yeah, and now I think we're just in no man's land, really. Landmarks, yeah. We're miles away from the actual code that we've been dealing with. Get neighbourhoods. Yeah, so I think generate global search page, wherever we found generate search pages, it was around here, wasn't it? Theme was the thing. Let's find out now. Some sort of theme for the pronoun. Yeah. I reckon this is part of the thing. But another part of it is also the landmarks. We need to actually delete the landmarks of the global search page when we actually delete it. Do we actually delete the page? Well, we've got that, so maybe we do it. But we don't do it here. So sync global pages with input. I think I actually do the call, don't I? Yeah, it's just that. Let's try it. Let's put this code in. Now we can have a look at the thing. What we're talking about is this. So generation -1, index 0, and -1. So this is the landmark index that is talking about, what is it? Cinera search.js. It's down at the bottom, isn't it? So this is talking about this landmark here, right? We're in the global search page, which is denoted by this, well, this whole thing actually, frankly. And apparently this checksum here is this far into this page. That's basically it. So let's try and quit somehow. Let's do this, and I think I will actually. Well, nah, I'll just run it. See what happens. First of all, let's see if we lose this page. We have lost that page. So we've screwed up something. The database is screwed. Probably because we have to do this. So since the database is now screwed, we need to move it out of the way. Let's delete this as well, just for the fun of it. So we're talking about this. Right, Cinera search, the first landmark, -1, 0, -1. We're trying to get rid of that. If it's not working, by the way, I'll just leave this to do tomorrow. Yeah, it's still not quite working. So there's, yeah, Cinera.css. So that's tomorrow's task. It's yeah, it's just going into that function and making sure that this works. It's probably in here, isn't it? It's probably in finding the actual thing with the correct index. Yeah, so let's leave that. Correctly delete landmarks of the global search page. That is one thing we need to do. And then I think the other thing to do is just to leap over all the themes and to compress the code out. I think I might like to actually make a note of where those things are. And that is in delete landmarks for search. Compress the generate search page functions. It's probably generate the compress the. We know that, and then it's enable well, yeah, whatever we can actually do. How about looping over all the projects, making link nodes for all the Unix CSS? That's in, yeah, whatever. Well, frankly. Yeah. Well, it's just and I'll do it. So yeah, currently the global page list not delete language for search. Compress the search to buffer functions and the project theme stuff in search to buffers and search to buffer table. I think that'll do what we want. So yeah, let's just move that out of the way for now. And I guess let these guys happen. And then we're in a position to actually generate the stuff tomorrow and then get on with what we need to be doing. So, we've been here for an hour and 38 minutes and 30 seconds. We have successfully got the global search page to get generated. Whether or not one used to exist, well, got one successfully generated when we have previously not had to generate one, and we've determined that we have not had to do one, and we should do now, basically. That's what we've achieved today. So thank you very much, Hairs and Hows, for being here, for being fantastic and beautiful, and for being thematic. Although I guess today, for being generational. Until next time, farewell for now.